Have you ever lost something really important? Maybe a favorite toy, a ring, or even hope itself? Well, there's one saint who's famous for helping people find what's lost. Not just things, but faith, peace, and love. His name is Saint Anthony of Padua, and his story is one of courage, kindness, and a few miracles that might just make you say, "Holy wow!" Our story begins in Lisbon, Portugal, around the year 1195. A baby named Fernando Martins was born into a loving family. From the time he was little, Fernando had a gentle heart and a deep love for God. While other children played in the streets, Fernando often slipped quietly into a nearby church to pray. As he grew older, he wanted to serve God completely. So, at just 15 years old, he joined a group of priests called the Augustinians. He spent years studying the Bible, learning about God, and praying for wisdom. One day, Fernando heard about a group of brave friars, followers of St. Francis of Assisi, who were traveling to faraway lands to preach about Jesus. Some of these men even gave their lives for their faith. Fernando's heart was on fire. He wanted to follow that same path of love and courage. So he left his comfortable life, joined the Franciscan order, and took a new name, Anthony, after Saint Anthony the Great. From that day on, he was known as Brother Anthony of Padua. Saint Anthony never planned to be famous. He was humble, quiet, and spent most of his time praying or helping others. But God had big plans for him. One day, during a large gathering of friars, a preacher was supposed to give the homily, but no one stepped forward. Anthony was asked to speak just for a moment. When he opened his mouth, everyone was amazed. He spoke with such wisdom and love that even the most learned friars were speechless. From then on, he became known as a powerful preacher, one who spoke straight to people's hearts. He traveled from town to town, across Italy and France, teaching people to live with kindness, honesty, and faith. He spoke about forgiveness, helping the poor, and trusting in God, even when life felt hard. Saint Anthony loved the poor. He gave away everything he had: food, clothes, even his own bed sometimes. People came to him for help, for prayers, and for comfort. And soon, they began to notice something special. Miracles seemed to happen around him. A lost child was found, a broken family reunited. A man who had lost his faith began to believe again. It was as if Anthony carried a bit of heaven in his heart and shared it wherever he went. That's why, even today, when people lose something, they pray, "Saint Anthony, please come around. Something's lost and can't be found." But one miracle stands out as one of the most incredible moments in his story. Once, in the town of Rimini, Italy, many people stopped listening to St. Anthony's preaching. They laughed and said, "We don't believe in your words about God." So Anthony did something amazing. He walked to the edge of the sea and called out, "If the people won't listen, maybe the fish will." And then something extraordinary happened. Hundreds, maybe thousands of fish rose up to the surface. They poked their heads out of the water, listening quietly as St. Anthony preached about the love of God. The people on the shore were stunned. Even the creatures of the sea were paying attention. That was a true holy wow moment. From that day on, no one doubted his faith or his message again. Saint Anthony passed away in 1231 at just 36 years old. He was so loved that people began calling him the Wonder Worker. Only a year later, he was declared a saint, one of the fastest canonizations in history. Today, people all over the world still pray to Saint Anthony when they lose something. Not just lost items, but lost hope, peace, or direction. Because Saint Anthony reminds us that nothing is ever truly lost when we keep faith in God's love. So next time you misplace your keys, your courage, or your smile, remember Saint Anthony of Padua, the humble friar who found what was lost and helped others do the same. Saint Anthony of Padua, pray for us.